Hi, Reverend Pam. It's Tiffany here doing my final assessment for my personal development program, and I'm excited to give you my video. For this section of my final, I'm created a video that's starring me, and I'm selecting one of the following as a focus of my video: my greatest success or my greatest failure. I like to focus in on my success. I believe that my biggest success has been my stretching, being able to do what I thought I was incapable of doing. That is my biggest stretch so far. It relates to my biggest success. So my greatest stretch has been creating Brunch at Tiffany's, and going beyond even the Brunch at Tiffany's is, as of today, being an official blogger slash interviewer for people who are masters in their fields of expertise. I will be interviewing those people and asking questions that have me curious. So I am elated to be able to do that. Briefly discuss the law you now see in operation. The law that I see in operation is a law of mind action. Once I changed my mind, I was able to change my reality. And my reality was smaller at a certain point. I've learned to forgive myself for feeling as if I couldn't do both and. I believe that the next little area of my blog will be called both and, because I am a combination of a lot of both ands. I'm a spiritual being, I'm a human being, I'm a emotional being, I am a mental being, I am flawed, I am perfect in God's image. I'm all these things. I'm a manifester, I'm a student, I'm a teacher, I'm a teacher, I'm a student. So all these things are coming into fruition for me, and that is exciting to witness, and I'm very proud of myself for what I am working towards with, for the first time, with a Christ consciousness that is allowing me to see how He is working in and through me to create these new beginnings. So it's very exciting for me to witness myself as a student and as someone who is surrendering to something higher than her willpower. So that's been really good. Discuss the imbalance. Identify and present the imbalance that you experienced on any of the four levels. Well, the imbalance that I often feel is, am I giving my spiritual practices enough time and commitment to that when things get crazy? I'm mindful when I'm not, but I often find myself moving in habitual behavior that I've had prior to starting Inner Visions, where I rely on myself rather than asking the Holy Spirit to guide me, to work till I am tired and numb, because I feel like that's where I get my worth. So I am working hard. No, I am surrendering to the concept that I am enough. I have all the answers. The answers don't come in the doing, it comes in the being. But that still is a bit of a challenge for me. Identify and present the tools or concept that provide the most significant support. The concept and the tools that provide the most significant support is asking for support, remembering the truth of who I am, so that requires prayer and meditation, being consistent and disciplined about what keeps me moving towards my vision for myself, which oftentimes means slowing down, taking a nap, taking it easy, forgiving myself for not being what I think I'm supposed to be, and getting rid of the supposed tos. That has been a significant change in my life. I didn't even realize I did that until I started this journey for myself. So I'm very mindful of how I do that to myself. Identify and present how your relationship with God's Spirit was or were not present in this experience. It was very much present in this experience. He has guided my everything that I've done in this process. I felt like I was not alone, even when it felt lonely because my husband wasn't in agreement, with this part of it. And should I, when I was doubtful and in my humanness, I was able to wake up and say, oh, I have tools. So, Holy Spirit, talk to me. So, that has been an incredible gift and journey for me. Discuss the lessons I've learned. I've learned to surrender. When in doubt, surrender. When in doubt, stand still. When in doubt, be still. When in doubt, make sure that I present myself to God and not ask for something outside of Him, but ask for the answers within myself. So that has been a significant shift for me, as opposed to just relying on what I knew or going to another person to solidify what I thought was right. Identify and present how you are using what you've learned from this in your life. I am using what I've learned from this in my life, and by using all the tools that I've learned in this process of creating Brunch at Tiffany's. I am using my creativity for God's work. I am using my instincts, my discernment to move me forward. I am surrendering to a voice and a consciousness that is not of myself. I'm allowing it to work in and through me. I am keeping constant check of what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, what I'm saying, what I'm doing, to make sure it is in alignment with what I say I want. Knowing that if it's out of alignment, I'm not going to get centered in what I want. To be very clear about what it is that I want. And if I bump up against something that doesn't feel comfortable, to express that instead of trying to go around it, justify it, explain it away. To live in the authenticity of that I'm kind of fucked up at times, but that's okay. And that's a new awareness for me. Support your sharing with at least 3 quotes from material as a part of your personal development. I feel like one quote that has always stayed with me is when the caterpillar thought that life was over, it became a butterfly. And that's an anonymous quote in our workbook, Summer Intensive 2015, from Change. And change has been a big deal for me in these last 2 years. And transformation is the process. Change is the ultimate outcome or realization. The transformational process of change is one that cannot be controlled or manipulated. Instead, it must be allowed and accepted. That's a big one for me. Me accepting the fact that change will happen the way that change happens. I can't manipulate it. I can't make it happen the way that I want it to happen. I will find peace and joy when I surrender to the way that it happens. Tapping the power within. There is a quote that Iyanla Vanzant, writes in chapter 6, Looking in the Mirror of Self. There is an old saying, what you draw to you is what you are. So when I started this process, I didn't quite understand that, and I still struggle with that to a certain degree. What is it that I draw to myself is what I am. And so when something seems funky, I have to look at what is funky within me. That's a challenge for me. But I am knowing that with change, it's transformative, it's a process, so I don't need to know it all the way. I just have to continue to believe it and insert that into my life so it can manifest. And I won't have resistance to what I believe couldn't be true, because that couldn't be me. Well, it's showing up in you. And the last thing Mama Ia mentions in the book is sometimes we want to change the out picturing of ourselves rather than the in picturing. And what she explains is sometimes we put lipstick on the mirror instead of putting lipstick on ourselves, and wonder why we don't have lipstick on ourselves, because we're trying to change what is out picturing of ourselves rather than inward. So I've been using that concept a lot in any of the struggles I've been having, or I have projected to be having. So that is in a nutshell of what I've been learning. I'm in gratitude. Gratitude is really the key. I'm inquisitive. I'm curious to know about who I am and what my intention is in this world. And I believe that Inner Visions has helped me to do that. So thank you, and you have a good day. Bye-bye.